Right. If something happens, if you can just push stop. Right, good morning, Blake. We're doing a workplace assessment this morning, and the workplace assessment is going to be on logging into NAIPS, which is part of your pilot training. When you log into NAIPS, that's where you get your weather and NOTAMs. NOTAMs, notices to airmen. So you'll need all those things before you go flying. Obviously, weather you need to know. A couple of safety things before we start. We're here in this briefing room, upstairs in 1FDS. We've got to wear the mask because we're going to be a little bit close sometimes. If we have a fire or an alarm, down the stairs here on just near us, closest set of stairs, out the fire exit, over to the car park. If we have a terrorist alarm go off, it's obviously lock the door under the table. Questions of me for that before we start? We've got a lot of leads laying around, so just be mindful of that if you move away from the desk for any reason, that there is a few trip hazards with regards to leads everywhere. Yep. All right, good, thanks. With that, we'll move on. And the very first thing we're going to do, before you NAIPS, you've got to be able to log into it. It's a website that's managed by Air Services Australia. You need to be able to log into it, and what else can I tell you about it? That's about it. So we're going to set up the first step we'll do is set up our login. By the end of today, you'll be able to log in by yourself, grab or get weather, NOTAMs for a particular aerodrome, and interpret that information so that you're prepared for flight. Yep. Awesome. Rightio. Let's start off with, first thing we've got to do is register. Alright. Yes, please. And fill in your details. So a password, something you remember. Remember, it's case sensitive. And this will be for use all the way through your training, all the way through your career, not just your training. Okay, yep, drop down. It's asking for whether you want to do AFFAX or not. In this case, no. You'll really never use AFFAX. Yep. AFFAX. AFFAX is an older system. Okay. Just that's why it's. Submit? Yes, as long as you're comfortable with what you've got there. Okay. Your account's now been registered, so you are now able to access NAIPS at any time. So let's go to the login. Yep. Actually, before we go to the login, sorry, just go to Documents and Downloads, and I'll show you a few tips. If you go to the user guide, anytime you want more information, NAIPS is really user-friendly. So today I'm going to teach you one facet of it. Yeah. If you want to know more, when you want to know more, that's how easy it is to get to the user guide. There's plenty of information in there. You'll be submitting flight plans and so on further down track, but that's in another lesson. It's very intuitive, and there's the user guide as you've just brought up, and there's also YouTube's, plenty of YouTube's available. So now let's go back to the login. Awesome. You can see here there's a number of different options for getting your briefings. So location briefing is about a location. We're here at Sale today, East Sale. So you can get them for East Sale, you can get it for West Sale, out the other side of town, and so on. So you can have a particular location, and we'll be doing that today. You can have an area briefing. The whole of Australia is broken up into a number of areas. For instance, Victoria is covered by a thing called Area 30. If you wanted the information, if you're flying from Sale across to somewhere in west of Victoria, you could bring up Area 30 and you get all the weather information and NOTAMs for your trip on the way across. You can get special Met briefings if you wish, general Met forecast, first light and last light. So if you're doing a day VFR flight, which you'll be doing a number of, you need to know when last light is, and we'll cover that again later on. And you can get restricted area briefings. Woo. You can get restricted area briefings. But today, we're going to go back to just a location briefing. So, for instance, when you do a location briefing, you want to know the Met, you want to know the NOTAMs, that's a given. You can go for head office NOTAMs as well. That's more about when you go for an area forecast. So don't worry about head office NOTAMs today, notices to airmen. But down here, we do need to put in a period, and the period we'll put in is 12 hours. What weather and what notices to airmen are going to affect us for the next 12 hours. So if you put in 12 hours, you can go, as it just said, you can go up to 240 hours. So if you're doing early planning, if you're doing a long trip, you might want to start your planning very early and then refresh it so you can see what NOTAMs are available earlier. Okay. So hit submit for me there, please. Negative. Let's put in YMES first. We'll do that very simply. And there we are. That's how easy it is. It was prepared for you. It's valid over a period from 0037. That's in UTC. So UTC is 10 hours behind Eastern Standard Time. And it's valid through for another 12 hours from when you requested, because that's what we said. That's what we asked for. First thing that's given us is the TAF for East Sale. YMES is East Sale, that's what you typed in. That's an OK. And it's got the wind here as 080 at 10 knots. And that's true. In other words, when you read a compass, you have a choice of true, or when you do map reading and compass reading, you have a choice of true or magnetic. Everywhere has magnetic variation, whether it be zero or whatever. In our case here, our variation is 13 degrees, and you'd get that out of the Ursa in a minute. We then can read through here. We've got some wind from the 10th. Ooh, very sensitive. My hand's very hot. At 0200, so midday, we expect the wind to get up, and it'll change about 20 degrees, and it's going to get up 14 to 25 knots. Cov OK just means that it's not bad skies out there below 10,000 feet. And we can see the temperatures, what's going to happen during the day. The temperature's going to rise, which makes sense. Then it's going to just fall away slowly, which is good. Not a lot of change here in the barometric pressure. You'll cover barometric pressure when you've done MET, aviation weather. And so you can see there that there's not much of a trend, not much of a decrease. So sharp decrease in pressure means that you've got strong winds coming. East Sale uniquely has a trend type forecast. We won't cover that too much today, but that just tells you what's happening in the next 3 hours. So if we were going flying the next 3 hours, we can go, okay, that's what's happening, and we can see what's happening in the next 12 hours. So that's what that is. It also gives ATIS, which is Air Traffic Information Service, and that's the weather that's going on around here. Can you just scroll along for me a little bit, please? Keep rolling. Here at eSale, here's the NOTAM information. So for here we can read things like the ILS. Do you use the ILS? Not yet, not at this stage of your training. What it does tell us importantly is that runway 0422 is not available. Okay, and so there's a number of different taxiways you have to go through. You can find that when they start talking about taxiways like that, let's have a look at the URSA, because, and what we're going to do in the URSA here, the URSA has facilities information and it has all the runways. So we could go to eSale, it's all alphabetical, and we find eSale, Camden, and nearly there. eSale. Here in the airfield diagram, we've talked about taxiway Bravo 1. We can find taxiway Bravo 1 along here. There's taxiway Bravo 1. It's not available. So there's runway 0422. All these taxiways along it, according to that information, are not available due to work in progress. We can also see if we're doing night flying, the PAPI, which is your lighting, is not approach lighting, is not available on runway 0927, which is the only runway that's available at eSale at the moment. From our diagram here in URSA, we can see that we only have 0927 and 0422, so we're down to one runway. Can you scroll through for me, please? SIDS is to do with instrument departures. We're not worried about that under your VFR, you'll learn that down track. And rolling on through a bit further, anything else that may affect us? Not if we're doing a basic flight. All these abbreviations for, I'm trying to find one now for you, things like ARP, DEP and approach, DAP, you'll find the definition of those acronyms in FIHA. So in military terms it's called FIHA, in civil terms it's called AIP, Aeronautical Information Publication, FIHA, Flight Information Handbook Australia. You can go in there, it's around about section 3.4 and you'll get all the breakdown of abbreviations. So don't hesitate to get into that area as well. Right, just rolling along, we'll see if there's anything else there that's going to affect our flights today. Well, there's one that we'd have to watch out for. For instance, we've talked about what's actually happening on the field. Down here there's survey and airwork flights. So if we're going to do, and they're within Romeo 359. Romeo 359 is the area immediately around us here at eSale, within 20 nautical miles. And there's work going on, there's some sort of survey and airworks. So we'd have to be mindful of that and be informed as to where the aircraft is and what it's doing. Questions of me on that?
No, understood.
Awesome. All right, let's bounce out of there.
So where are we going?
We would like to go back. Yes, good question. My bad. So push the back button there. That's going to take us back to here. What I'd like to do now is, we've gone through, if you could log out for me, please. And now we're going to do another little exercise. We're just going to log into NAIPS again. So I'd like you to log in. The idea is to get the practice of logging in and logging out. And this time I'll pick an airfield. I'm going to pick, I'll pick Bairnsdale. So there's two ways. If we go to location briefing, we go to, you can either type in Bairnsdale, or I'll go to here. I'll go to our URSA. look up band style
Find the code.
to find the code. Exactly right. Well done you. First off, I've got to remember how to spell band style. So you can see here the ICAO code for band style. We've looked it up. It's in plain English.
Yep.
The ICAO code though is YBNS. Band style. We want to do it for the next 12 hours. And let's submit that. What do you know?
Right.
We've immediately got some weather for Bairnsdale, and it's valid from 00445
Yep.
today through to
12 hours from.
12 hours, AFO. So we've got a TAF there. So just out of curiosity, you know, I've talked you through it once. Let's have a little bit of a crack at this. Would that be true or magnetic?
That's true.
Yep. Okay. So is that a sort of an easterly wind or a westerly wind?
East.
Yep.
110
Yeah, right.
east, yeah.
Good. Good. And we can see that the wind's going to change slightly from approximately when? Can you convert? It's 0800.
0800, so that'd be plus 10. It's 1800 to 6 p.m.
Awesome. So around about 6 o'clock or 1800 hours, we can expect the wind to move round to 060.
Yep.
That's true. So we would take away 13, the variation here. And the variation actually as a sideline is written again in Ursa.
Yep.
You've got it in fact. It's east, so east is always least. There's a little rhyme there. West is best, east is least. East being least, west meaning you add on, or best meaning you add on, east, least, take away.
Yeah.
So we've got our temperatures. You can see there that it's slowly decreasing over the period.
Yep.
But you would not expect.
The pressure's not changing that much.
It isn't, is it? It's going to be a beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful afternoon. Right. Let's roll down to the NOTAMs now. Good. Look at that. No NOTAMs for Bairnsdale.
Yeah.
So there's no issues with Bairnsdale other than what are already written in Ursa.
Okay.
So we'd look at the Ursa procedures and go additional information. There's ultralight flying, there's wildlife activity, bird infringements. That's what we've got to watch out for going into that.
Roger.
All right. That was pretty good. Questions of me so far?
No, that's really good.
That's a bit of worry. All right, let's go on and do. I'd like you to choose an airfield, perhaps wherever you come from, or something near where you come from.
Yep.
So go back.
So I'm from Sydney, so it's giving me the code right there. So, YSSY.
Okay.
We get 12 hours.
In fact, what we'll do 2 of these.
Yep. So do you want me to put the location in here? Or?
Yes, please. I'd like you to look because of what I would like you to do. You've got Sydney, so let's look up also Bankstown.
Bankstown?
Yep. And Bankstown is a sub of. It's one of the unique ones. It's a sub of Sydney. No. So what you need to do is go to Sydney. It's a sub.
Oh, okay.
It's a sub airfield of the Sydney Basin.
Hang on. Yes. Sydney. So that's Kingswood Smith.
Yep. So that's quite a lot for Kingswood Smith.
Yep.
Which is what we'd expect.
Sydney Bankstown.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at what our ICAO code is.
Yeah, and that's YSBK.
Excellent.
Okay. 12 hours.
Yep.
Submit.
Good. Okay. So validity is fine.
Yep. Let's see that 10 hours.
Yep. What can you tell me about that TAF?
So that's coming in from the true, so TAF YSSY coming from 092.
Yep, down
sorry,
here.
down here, yeah.
Yeah. This is when the TAF was written.
Copy, yeah.
So
So it's coming from 140, true heading, 14
Yep.
knots, and then it's expected to change at 10 p.m. to 120 at 5 knots.
okay, good.
Yeah.
Yep. And so what's going to happen? No, we'll leave all that. That's good. This one thing I didn't explain earlier.
Yep.
This is our cloud heights. So we're expecting scattered cloud at
Yeah.
3,500 feet.
SCT scattered. Yeah.
Yep. So, and you've got a little cheat sheet here to find out exactly what scattered is. So that's 3 to 4. So that's about half a sky of cloud,
Yeah.
half a sky of blue sky.
Okay. And these would change depending on the forecast for that time there, would it?
Yes.
So at
Yeah.
1200 UTC,
Yep.
that's what they'd expect.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 6 hours from this time, there'll be a new TAF come out.
Okay.
That's fine. What about our temperatures? How do you think they look?
Yeah, so constant pretty much throughout the entire day.
Yep.
Little variation. And then same with pressure.
Yep.
So it's looking like it's...
So we're not going to see anything much change.
No.
Good.
So where would Bankstown be after the NOTAMs?
Yep.
Just
So
that.
roll down. So all your weather's in one hit, and then you do all your NOTAMs. Good question.
Okay.
All your NOTAMs are in another. So if we did multiple locations without doing an area forecast,
Yeah.
you'll get all your weather for those locations. Then you'll get all your NOTAMs.
Okay.
So here it is down here for Bankstown.
Mhm.
What can you tell me about the winds and the cloud there?
Yeah, so it's coming from 150 true heading at
Yep.
10 knots, and scattered clouds at 040.
Excellent.
What's the? I've seen 999 a lot.
Yeah, good question. So that means you've got good visibility. So you've got,
Okay.
we talk, it's one of the few times we talk about kilometres. So we've got, they don't actually say 10 kilometres, they'll say 9,999 metres
Yeah.
of good visibility. That's how far you can expect to see.
Okay. Right. So
So-
so Bankstown and Sydney, they're not expecting.
Not expecting decreased visibility. You'll be able to see very clearly. What happens is, obviously, if you get a misty day, that sort of thing going on, smoke, you might see it come back towards 5,000 metres.
Roger. And then.
Then we get down here to Bankstown.
Yeah.
So, yep, so we can see there the winds.
150 at 10 knots.
Yep.
And then it's scattered clouds at 040. Temperature's doing alright, dropping off in the evening,
Yep.
and pressure's constant.
Yeah, so,
Ish.
so
Yeah.
everything's going to stay pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
All right, let's have a look at the NOTAMs for these two places. Sydney, you'll get lots of NOTAMs.
Yeah. Yeah, that.
Let's roll on through a few of those.
Yeah.
We'll keep going down. I'll go to Bankstown. We can see here, what's that telling me?
Taxiway A2 is not available.
Yep.
And then there's a taxiway limit on the maximum wingspan of a plane.
Excellent.
Is that what that means?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, well done. Well done. So it is reasonably intuitive once you
Yeah.
start thinking along the right lines.
Yeah.
Okay, as I said, you can always go to FIHA to get a better bracket. Okay, let's roll on through and have a quick look at Bankstown.
Yeah. So that'll be after all the
Stuff that goes on with
Bankstown.
Bankstown. Excellent. And
Yeah.
wow, look at that. Let's do a quick breakdown. What's the important part of what's going on at Bankstown? What runways aren't available?
So we don't have the centre and the right runway.
Correct.
Yeah.
We don't. We don't. 11 centre, 11 centre, and 29 centre not available.
So is that 11 right, 29 right? Those are different runways, are they?
They are. Affirm. So you at Bankstown you have 3 runways.
Yeah.
3 parallel runways.
Yeah.
Left, centre, and right.
Okay.
For 1129.
So would that mean no runways available, or just you can't come in from that way and that way.
That would mean no runways are available. No runways are available at Bankstown at the moment. Sorry, you do have left, my bad. Centre and right are not available, so they're only using runway left.
Yeah, okay, so it just means you can only come in on this runway from this way, and you can only come in on this runway from that way.
No. It'll be,
That's
they've written that wrong. Good question, you. They've written that wrong. Yes, you are correct.
Yeah.
Good pickup. So, reading this, they must be working on the thresholds.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense then.
Yeah. Good question. Good point. Excellent. Well done. You've got all pass now. Okay. You can see there that if you did need to use one of those runways, you've got 15 minutes. You've got to let them. It'll take them 15 minutes to clear that.
Oh, okay, so that just means like someone's on the runway working.
Yeah, and you need that runway for whatever reason. It's going to take them 15 minutes.
Okay.
Because as you can see, in the Ursa, the centre runways are longer than the other two.
Yeah.
Left and right.
Yeah.
All right, excellent. You've done that all by yourself, so if you roll down to the bottom, anything else is really important. Not for your flying level. So you can see here cranes and obstacles come up, particularly when you start doing instrument approaches.
Okay. And that's just letting people know that there's high things in the area.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep, so they're obstacles you've got to watch out for, particularly doing instrument approaches.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so that's changes to runway length.
Yep.
Is that?
Various changes, and they can be very small changes. It can be a small change to a gradient. You'd have to compare it with what's available in the RDS at the back of that. You can all know this is one that would be important for you in your early stages of flying. VFR ops are restricted during tower hours due to increased traffic and airspace constraints. Just what we exactly talked about then with the runways. Excellent. So you've done that. What you've done just now is you've created your own account. So you've got that for the rest of your career. We've gone in, we've done a bit of an exercise. We've looked at these sales weather for today, and it's NOTAMs. We've had a look at Bairnsdale, and you've even been able to bring up Sydney using the Ursa.
Yeah.
Remember, if you go back for me again, please, that there's more information. If you need more information at all, you can get it through the documents and downloads. There's plenty of information on how to use NAIPS further in the NIS guide, and there's also good YouTubes that Air Services put out when it comes to flight planning. So, questions of me there, Blake?
No, just everything is in the user guide then if I ever get confused.
Correct, yeah. Or drop back and see me, but give me a call. Awesome.
I guess you could use all of these if you needed to.
Absolutely.
If you were planning a route,
a
nav or something, you could use all of these and get all of your information at once.
Yes.
Oh.
Yep. All right. Questions for me?
Oh, thank you.
Great. Listen. Yep.